Hello, ladies. This is Griff again from AskGriff.com. As you can see here, I'm in what I call my doghouse. You know how some people, when they go off to work, they lock their dogs in a cage all day? Well, I've always kind of felt that if you're going to do that to a dog, you probably shouldn't own one. So when my wife goes to goddamn Ulta, she locks me in the bathroom. So it would follow the logic that if you're going to do that to your husband, you probably shouldn't have one. So, but you can see here, I have a sink. I also have towels here. Now these towels you're not allowed to use. They're to look at. One time I used the back of the towel like this. My wife found out about it and I got a lot of trouble. And see, I'm working on the point system. And when you do things like that, you get points taken away. Now, if I'm really, really good, she's going to put a carpet in here for me. So that way I don't have to sit in here on this cold, hard floor. And if I accumulate enough points, she's going to put a flat screen television here on this wall for me. So it's actually not that bad. Now, I do have to show you something because this is really important information for you men. You see this right here? This tissue? Well, when the tissue's folded at an angle like this, if you can see that, that means you're not allowed to use the bathroom in here. It means you probably have guests coming over. So in my case, if it's folded like that and I'm locked in here, what I have to do is I have to go out into the backyard. Now, I was raised in the South, so it's not that unusual, but it is a little bit embarrassing if the neighbors are watching. So I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to sneak out of here for a few minutes because there's a couple of holiday things I would like to share with you. So if you'll be patient with me, and I have to hope my wife doesn't find out about this. This will only take a couple of seconds. Now, what we have here is a nativity scene. Isn't that nice? Now, when I was like 4 years old, I invented this, and people have been buying them ever since then. So when I was in the 8th grade, I actually carved this in my wood shopping class. And you can see right here, little baby Jesus. Can you see him? Right here. Well, when I first carved him, his head kept falling off. So what I did was I said a baby Jesus prayer. His head popped on, and as you can see here, it stays on firmly. That's what they call the power of the Lord. So, and then the next thing I want to show you is this year for my tablescape, I've decided to go with silver. See, everything here is done in silver. Now, I have here a wreath that was made by my beautiful daughter-in-law, Shivani. Let me show this to you. All silver. Now, you can see here we have the silver ball here. Now, that silver came from the country of Belize. They have silver mines there. And then here we have titanium balls. Now, the titanium came from the Ukraine, and it was so deep in Ukraine, even the Ruskies don't know it's there. And then these little fellows right here, you can see that? Those are Munchkin balls. A lot of people don't know this. Remember the Munchkins from The Wizard of Oz? They live in Hialeah, and they grow Munchkin balls there. You can see this right here? That's a Munchkin ball. Now, my mama always told me you're not supposed to touch other balls, so you have to forgive me. Then the last thing that I want to show you before I go back to my doghouse is this right here. Now, fellas, write and tell me if you have one. This is a magic sink. Now, what happens is if you put a dirty dish in here, and this has happened ever since we moved into this house, one of the best things about this house, put a dirty dish in here, it magically disappears. I'm telling you, I've gone to bed at night, there were dirty dishes in here, I come out the next morning, they're in the dishwasher. It's the darndest thing I've ever seen in my life. So guys, if you have one of these, hang on to it. It's going to make your house worth a fortune. So I better get back into my doghouse now because I could get in a lot of trouble. Actually, sometimes what I do, I get so upset. My wife always at frickin' Ulta's. Sometimes I'll smoke a cigar in the house just to piss her off. Oh, speaking of that, guys, here's what we're going to do. You see this right here? We're going to take this tissue right here, and I'm gonna put it in here. And guys, now believe me, when she gets home, that'll set her hair on fire. Roll Tide.